We're back. The content machine cutie is back. And we're back with the grand finals of the EGCTV. 25,500 dollars. But it's actually real dollars. It's not dollars. Master of Realm tournament. I'll kind of quickly go through the draft. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go too far into the maps. The first map is Dry Arabia. And basically these 5 maps were the first maps we had to play. And then we can play the other 4. So it was a best of 9. Now, looking at our draft without telling you exactly like which pick I was going to play where, it came down to I either pick Mongol or Ayyubid or Abbasid here. And he would have either picked Delhi, Malian, or Byzantine. Now, I thought it's too obvious that I'm going to pick Mongol because I thought he's going to play Byzantine. So I picked Ayyubid because I thought he's going to pick Delhi or Malian. Well, Psyche picked Byzantine. So I thought he's going to be like, ooh, he's going to think I'm going to play Byzantine, so he's going to pick Mongol to counter Byzantine. So he's going to pick something else. And I was like, if I pick Mongol, it's too obvious. I'm going to pick Ayyubid to try to counter Delhi or Malian. Well, I got Byzantine versus Ayyubid, which, well, Mongol counters Ayyubid. Mongol counters Byzantine, in my opinion. But Ayyubid versus Byzantine is a pretty rough one.
I'm 28 years old.
Please keep this message in the YouTube video.
Thank you, Fishy. I will. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donor. If I, the reason, by the way, is if I got Mongol versus Malian or Mongol versus Byzantine, it's very good for me. But if I got Mongol versus Delhi, it's extremely hard to win that matchup. And like I said, I thought he's gonna think I'm gonna pick Mongol, and then he's gonna pick Delhi. So I wanted to counter it with Ayyubid, but it did not work out. So I basically countered myself. I went with Ayyubid, and I don't know what the consensus is. I personally have a lot of trouble with this matchup. So I went with the reinforcement AK military wing. I got forward gold, which, you know, doesn't matter too much. So my plan here was to go for some kind of pressure, some kind of light pressure into A-Jump. Personally, this used to be one of the matchups that you used to play somewhat often, but because I've been practicing so many custom games and so many water maps, I haven't really practiced like land Dry Arabia matchups too much. So I wasn't really sure how to play this, but I knew that I'm not going to have a good time most likely. So I did some harassment here at the start. Kind of started with some, you know, little pressure. Nothing too serious. I wasn't like killing anything or anything like that. He got some donzos, so basically my idea was for him to scout my stable archer range, and then I age up. Here I'm doing some harassment. They even killed a villager, which was a pretty good start. Longbows come out. And this is where I'm kind of trying to age up while doing some harassment. So the game started okay for me. Looking back, maybe I should have just committed more to feudal. Like if I was still making units, now I could have maybe killed his army. I don't know, but yeah, I went for the fast age up. Which you see here, I'm going ecoing right now. I'm still doing some harassment, scouting, going around, and I'm about to get like 8 villagers extra, so it's gonna be very, very nice for me. Actually, I haven't looked at these games back, so you know, I'm kind of watching them for the first time, if you will. So he loses a scout here, which is actually pretty nice for me, because scouts give you a lot of vision. But I should have probably moved my villagers earlier. I lose 3 there. My thing gets misrallied, but doesn't die, so that's nice. I was doing some pickups here in the middle of the map, and then basically, I was trying to get archer ranges up while producing some lancers as well. I found that he is on berries, so continuously I'm just still harassing. The game was kind of going all right. I'm ahead in villagers now, but I do have a lot of idle time, so it's obviously not ideal, right? His armies are kind of connecting here a little bit, and he's just going around. He's not really committing. He's just poking, so I can't really go anywhere without taking damage. You know, I don't have vision. And Oh yeah, the first unfortunate thing that happens is, so I kill this, and I don't know where his army is, right? So, okay, this is my vision. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to overcommit. I pushed him out, so let's just go harass, and I'll get the relics behind us. So this is what happens. I send the units over here, and he was just around the corner, and he runs into my units. I didn't have a vision of the units, because why would units be here, you know? But because he went like this, around, he just ran into my lancers. Now, if you know anything about castle rushes, the first 2 knights or lancers are extremely important, and if you lose them, you kind of lose all the tempo. So now because I lost the lancers, I have no idea where the army is, and I have to go back. Because if you get to their base with lancers and they are defending with army, you know where their army is. So at this point, I was like, okay, this ain't good. I almost got a sick shot here, but he barely just moved out of range as my Mango was about to shoot at the longbows, and then the second shot didn't do anything. So again, the worker count looks kind of fine, not a big deal.
Great finals.
But he's kind of getting further and further ahead on the villagers, and my lancers were doing okay damage. Like, you know, I got 4 worker kills total, so I'm ahead in workers. It's not, you know, terrible. My lancers here run into another set of units, which again, unfortunate. I'm getting 2 relics, and I'm just trying to harass over here. And now Byzantine is in like full power, you know, he's got enough farms and he's just spamming units. Whereas, because of the idle time that I've had and everything, my economy is like not fully set up. I'm trying to make mangonels to make up, because I knew I had less units, so I'm trying to get mangonels. I killed more workers here. But he has 7 Varangian guards, and he also has Limitane that are taking reduced damage from archers. So in the end, it kind of looks like okay, but the mangonel, I just don't have enough like crossbows to kill the Varangian guards, and I end up getting mowed down and losing the game. Now looking back, I think maybe I should have made some more units in feudal and then went castle. And you know, if I didn't run my first 2 camel lancers into his, I think it was even more. I don't know if it was 2 or 4, I can't remember. But if I didn't run those into the army, then I'm starting harassment, and I can pick up more relics, and I can deny relics. It was 4? Yeah, I mean, that's... Like, losing first 2 knights or lancers is terrible. Losing 4 is like... That kind of sets you pretty far behind in terms of tempo, and IBIT is very tempo-based. It's one of those where it is what it is. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I've been playing Socotra, a Mongol in practice quite a bit. And the reason why I practice Mongol in practice quite a bit, mind you, I stream all this practice, is because most people that I've seen are practicing English or Malian. So what I decided to do is I'm going to play Mongol, because if I take away the English, then they can't play English, and I can play Mongol against any other civ, including Malian. And I had English in my draft, so I thought he's going to think I'll pick English, but I'll pick Mongol. Now, this is what I was talking about a little bit yesterday. This is the difference in practicing privately and practicing on stream. So I do all my practice on stream, so you know, whatever I'm practicing on any map, my opponents can see. And another thing we discussed yesterday is practicing like privately allows you to test some matchups more. So for example, if you play Malian on this map every time, you can say, okay, what counters Malian? You say Mongol, let's say, on this map. And then you say, okay, how can I beat Mongol on this map? And you can find like a specific solution to that problem without showing anyone. So in my games, when I played Mongol versus whatever civ, I didn't run into this. And oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's unfortunate. If I knew that, I would have probably just not done the... I didn't know that. That's so sad. It was like a... And he didn't even know that my con was here. So if I saw the wall, I would have probably just not tower rushed at all. But basically, what he did is just he walled both sides so that I can't tower rush the goal. That's very sad that my con wasn't able to see that. So I proceeded with the tower rush, but obviously there's a wall. And, you know, if you've never played Mongol, if you do a tower rush and you don't achieve absolutely, like, anything with it, it is not good. And I also pulled a second villager to make it even worse. So not only I pulled one, I pulled a second villager too. So here I see there's a wall, and I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, okay, I'll tower here, and then I'll try to break through here, because I could have maybe ran through, but he has all the villagers next to TC, so he could have just popped in TC and killed my shit, so that wouldn't have worked. So already I'm like, oh fuck, like this is not good. So I try to tower the wood line here and the wood line here, so he kind of doesn't have a lot of wood and he can run out of wood somewhat quickly. Now he saw me with the scout over here. I had to cancel the tower. This tower finishes, but it's not really accomplishing anything. And I already kind of knew this was going to be a rough game because I did no damage and I had idle of 2 villagers for a pretty long time. I also lost the villager here to a javelin thrower. So I was like, oh fuck, like this ain't good. So the problem is, you don't want to fight with Malian and Feudal usually because of Donzo javelin thrower combo. And because it's a small map, I can't really go Keshik. Because if I go Keshik right now, like he has javelins, right? So the normal response is to go Keshik. So if I go Keshik, I have nowhere to harass, right? This is walled, food is here, wood is here, gold is here. So there's nowhere for me to harass. So I had to go into archers. So because already at this point, at this level, this is like kind of game ending already. So I decided to go dock to make ships so I can deny. But again, because he has seen my games that I've played in tournaments and in practice, he is actually making a dock without even seeing my dock, right? So I didn't even know that he made it in advance. So now, even the next move, like not only he blindly covered the tower rush, right? Then he blindly just covered the dock as well, because he probably thought, like, what's the next thing that can happen? So anyway, so he's kind of like knowing in advance what I'm gonna do, and he's just preparing for it in advance. So everything I do is kind of like just countered before I even start doing it. So now, like I said, the only choice to do here is make mass archers and hope to overwhelm the javelin thrower count, which it's not gonna work if he just continuously makes javelin throwers. So yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm trying to snipe a worker here and there. I got my arrow ship here. I see there's a dock already. I'm doing some harassment. I'm like, okay, I'm poking here and there. And making an outpost. Like, I'm trying to get some map control. Here, he goes for... Like, this is the funny part about Sokotra. It's so small, he's like in my base in 2 seconds. So here, I managed to get some workers, which was very nice. So I'm like, okay, I love that. Maybe I should have made a dock here and like fully committed to water or something. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. But yeah, like I was never in this situation. You know, like if I had one game like this, I think what I would have done
Mr. Beasty,
is...
especially like the series against Lucy.
Thank you. What I think I would have done if I had like one practice game like this, I would have probably gone even double dock and fully committed to water and attacked the Malian gold. But like I said, I never had it, so I kind of did half measure. And now because I killed all the Donzos and his army is pure javelin, I was like, do I rush castle or do I... So I was like, okay, let's try Keshik. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to do, right? So I decided to do that. Obviously, it did not work out. I get a little tower here. I'm out of food, by the way, already. I got like some pastures going. I stopped making archers. And now my army is, I mean, 28 javelin throwers versus 17 archers. That's not gonna really work out too well, right? So... yeah, the water fights, he kept producing boats, so that didn't work out too well. He's making cows, he's snacking, he's eating. this tower is going. I mean, I saw everything with the tower. So like I saw that, you know, he has cows. I saw he has gold. And this is the part where I'm like, okay, he is distracted here. So let me try to age up. And maybe I can get to like upgraded archers and men-at-arms or something. And as I'm aging up, he runs directly into the age up. And I was like, well, this is over. I try to hold here with the tower because I'm out of food and I kind of need it. My upgrades obviously are not going to be finishing anytime soon. And he just has way too many javelin throwers. So I end up losing game number 2. I'm not going to go into the draft too much because it's complicated to explain. But like the draft itself is complicated, how and when you can pick stuff, because it's not very straightforward. So here I was like, I'm gonna pick English because I don't think he's gonna expect English, and I actually expected Delhi here, but he ended up with Ottoman, and I was like, I mean, okay, I can do English versus Ottoman. Now I was wondering here, English is very good against Ottoman, but I was wondering if I go Council Hall and do like a straightforward push. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm doing the straightforward push and he's doing like a castle rush because he can just walk quickly or something. So I was like, let's just do King to TC and then I do the push. Because after the first or the second game, I saw that he's playing a lot on like what he saw from me, right? And kind of countering in advance. So I was like, let's do something that he won't expect. So I went 2TC King, which is not really crazy. But usually with 2TC King, you go for fast age up. So what I did is I made sure he didn't have a scout next to my base. I made sure his scout is preoccupied. And then when I went for barracks plus archer range, and I just did a push after 2TC. Which again is not really that common. Like 2TC Castle Rush is a lot more viable. So here I see a scout. King is doing some harassment. I see a scout again, and I know that he has no clue that this is happening. It's like, again, it's like he's not even scouting if I'm making units. It's like he's like, okay, he's doing 2TC English, so he's gonna go castle. I lose king here because I'm a good player. And here I was moving the scout away. What's it called? I was moving him away so he doesn't run into my units because I want him to see the units as late as possible. So I'm making a tower here, and this is where he sees my units for the first time. And he is immediately putting shit ton of workers on wood because he was very, very late with everything pretty much. So here I'm already torching. I got a tower. I'm gonna have to speed this up because this was a long game. I go for a fast ram to destroy the tower. Kill a couple of workers. So this was like a great start for me. Killing a couple of workers. I got another tower here. I'm doing some poking. I got a ram going. Wow, he went to this very early. I didn't even know. I saw him later, but I didn't know he was there now. So he's making more production. Kind of like panic building. You can see his other resources. And behind this, I stop making units and then I go castle. Kind of like what I should have done in the Ayubid game, I guess. Like put some pressure and then go castle. So I'm walling, and I left my ram here, and the tower, so this is his vision, right? And then I just sent my units back home from the bottom side. So he thought I'm still here, and I actually managed to kill 2 archer ranges with no unit protection there. So my units are already going home. So I decided to go for the white tower right here to secure the gold and the stone. Because I felt like his army was nowhere near mine, so it was fine. I age up, and now I'm in a lot better, I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm not like in a game-winning spot, but I killed some workers, I put some pressure on him, so Yeah, he's getting the relics because he took the vizier point that spawns 2 imams, so he's taking them a lot quicker. I'm trying to take some as well, but obviously it's not going to be as fast. I got some knights going, harassing here, harassing there, and I'm just booming my eco behind this, getting more and more farms going. And the weird thing is, like, this game, he didn't harass, like, at all. Like, there was no point where he was going around with Sipahi to, like, try to break the walls on the sides or something. Maybe because I put White Tower here, so I can just push into his base, I'm not sure. But, let's speed it up. So, I was kind of controlling the middle, and I felt like, as long as I control the middle and now I slowly push, I'll be more than fine. So I get a couple of towers, and I do the push here. The push was a bit weird. I could have done better with it, I feel like. The Springle almost dies, but not quite. Some siege happening here. Boom, boom, bing, bing. We trade out. I still have more army. I'm going for 4 rams. On the side, I had some units attacking the golds. Had some units on the bottom, so just kind of trying to send like units everywhere I can to do some harassment. And I decided to push into the keep on the side, which I don't think he saw at all until I was already there. Yeah, so he was completely out of position here. So I go in. I don't think this keep died, which is the sad part. Yeah, the keep didn't die, which is really sad. Because I thought for sure it's dead. I saved some units here, some units there, so I can attack when he pushes out now. If I kill the keep, I think that attack was good. But while I was doing all that, I got the Imperial Age up. He's going Imperial. And the game is kind of turning into the, you know, Hill and Dale classic kind of thing. I push it here again. I'm pushing at the top with some men-at-arms. Just, again, trying to harass everywhere I can. The worker count, or the worker skill is 33 now. But he's going trade, because Hill and Dale has, like, the back trade. So, well, not always. Sometimes it's, like, in the middle, but the situation was in the corner. So he's, oh my god, look at that idol. So he's getting, like, even though I'm killing a lot of workers, the economy is similar because he is spamming traders too. Here, I'm starting to push. Because I have units everywhere, I can see his units constantly, like, left and right. So I just start pushing through the middle a little bit. I send more units on this side. Again, just kind of doing run-bys and picking off units wherever I can. That bombarding placement is destroying. Look at this. Look at this. Is it here? Hell yeah, brother. Farming right here. So, yeah, so units on the bottom, units everywhere. Again, this game goes for another 12 minutes, but you kind of get the idea. There's units everywhere. This was the game-winning play, yeah, for sure. So here I try to go for Sacred Side win, because I'm like, this game might go for a while, because he's trading, so even though I'm denying, like, goals in the map, he still has back trade, which kind of ruins the purpose of denying goals. So I just went for Sacred Sites. I got Berkshire in the middle, controlling this part. So I was just making keeps on the other Sacred Sites. And, yeah, here he has a big siege push with, like, hand cannoneer, or, great bombards, but you can beat them with Springles, especially English Springles, because they have attack speed to them. So you gotta be very careful with micro, but if you micro your Springles properly, they will never be hit by the great bombards. So you'll see here, I pick off his Springles first, and then I pick off the Mangonels. And now he has to run away because sometimes you see players attack into Springles, but you can see here, look at the kiting. You see he's trying to target the Springles. It didn't work.
Hello, leaders.
I start making hand cannoneers. More men-at-arms. I'm sending some men-at-arms here occasionally. Just trying to break this wall. There's a run by at the bottom. There's just kind of like action everywhere happening. Because we're also in the super late game. And we were even / I was ahead from mid-game. So I felt like pretty confident at this stage in the game. Because at this point there's no like... It just kind of just macro, right? And decision making, which I feel is my strong side. So I felt pretty confident. And I'm just waiting for Sacred Sites. He destroyed his keep. I made a new one. This was weird to push through because I had 2 gates, but I couldn't shoot with Springles through them. Again, I target fire his. I win the Springles battle. Got more Springles coming. He's trying to decap. On the bottom, he kind of gave up completely. So I just rallied all the units to the right side. Because I also had a good vision, I think. Yeah, I had good vision of like this section of the map. So I saw he's not trying to push here. So I just rallied everything here. And I just waited for Sacred Sites to take down. Great Bombers are here. I picked them all up. Or picked them all off. And Cannoneers with attack speed doing work, and the Sacred Site timer is over. So that was 2-1, and I felt like first game I was like, man, I should have just picked Mongol, you know, I should have just went for that, but I didn't. And then second game I went Mongol versus Bali, which I thought I would do fine in, but yeah, he had a very good counter build to what I was doing. And then third game, I won a matchup that was favored to me, and the game kind of just went my way. So after this, so in this draft, I actually giga fucked up in the draft regarding one civ, and that was Rus. So on Holy Island, you must ban Rus. Like, you cannot let the Rus go through, and I did let it go through. And I picked like probably the best or second best civ you can try to fight this against Rus. But, yeah, I think this is the one map where it's like, you cannot beat Rus from this map. I don't think with any civ. But yeah, I fucked up. I should have banned Rus, but I did not. So, pretty sure he was very happy about that. So the reason why Rus is so strong, by the way, mind you, I'm going fast age up with China here. I'm only making 4 fishing ships, right? I'm going fast age up. I haven't started aging up yet. He's about to finish aging up. So I'm also rushing the age up. I built second dock so I can garrison my ships. So it kind of went as well as it could have in a way. Like, I didn't take any damage. I have some idle time, but I didn't lose anything. But still, like I said, it's a pretty rough matchup because it idles your fishing eco quite a bit, no matter what civ you are. And now the bigger problem is not only so you don't know what Rus is doing. So if you counter push with one ship and he has like 2-3 Springle ships, you're just gonna get counter pushed and die. So it's like he can play the greedy game. He can just be like, I'll just make 5 fishing ships now, but you can't because he has the tempo. So the bigger problem at this time is because this map is a bit smaller than normal maps, when you summon gremlins, they have half duration remaining. So when they get to your base, they have about 30 seconds remaining. So they can harass so much and cause so much idle time, which at this point, this whole thing is okay. Like, I'm not good spot economically, but I have IOs, I have I lost 1 villager here, I think. I lost, yeah, 1 villager and 1 fishing boat. So China has 20% extra drop off, you have taxes, so your eco is good. The problem is the gremlins just kept coming and causing idle time, which kind of put me further and further behind. Like here I have way less ships than he does, but I managed to win the fight. I don't lose anything, he loses 2 demos. So that was pretty nice for me. But again, like I said, the gremlins are gonna keep coming. Maybe I should have just made an archer range and make like 3 Zuganu. But when you're playing like water, it's like any resource you can save is good. And I'm trying like not to die because I don't know how far ahead or behind I am. So I didn't want to make like an archer range. He was attacking me at the water, he was attacking me on the land. And yeah, I think the gremlins just causing so much idle time kind of did it in the end. Because you'll see now, I think the difference in eco is gonna just keep changing. Because his eco is basically untouched. And mine is just getting worse and worse. You also got +1 range attack. He's about to age up if you wanted to. And you can see on my side, I'm kind of struggling a little bit for age up and resources and stuff like that. I think I got 1 or 2 good demo hits this game, but yeah, this is the difference between like interrupted and not interrupted economy. Again, more idle time from the gremlins. I managed to get Beastyqt, which I mean, you don't really have resources to get Beastyqt earlier, but like I said, probably getting an archer range earlier and making few Zuganu would be good. Here he ages up, and at this point I don't really have an option but to just all in, because you know I can't keep fighting on water normally without upgrades, so I just had to YOLO and hope it works. It did not work, so at this point I knew that the game was lost. Like right now the game is over. So what I tried to do is age up and like try to transition and do something. This can work against like players that are not in like top 6, 8, 10. You can like transition even you don't have water and maybe win. And I try to do that here obviously because I'm not, you know, I don't want to just give up. But you can see the economy is about to like dip extreme amounts. He's like getting so many archer ranges, barracks, he's getting sacred sites, relics. Meanwhile, you know, I can't even produce units full time because I'm kind of stuck with resources. So one great thing with Rus is the moment you finish fighting, you can convert all your ships to transport or to trade ships. And now you're printing money. Easy clap mode. I tried to do some harassment and I killed a few workers, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. And I'm trying to hold here. I'm trying to make docks to like break the trade. And I got some springles, but if you look at the armor difference from the water ecos too, a bit too crazy. And I try to do some repairing, but it ain't gonna work. I lose a lot of workers, and he eventually just pushes in, ages up to imp. I think I'll stay in a bit longer, but that's pretty much it. Casters were thinking Beastyqt on gold. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, the funny thing is, you don't play ever against Rus on water. In normal games, when you play China versus whatever on water, you go for Imperial Official. Or you go for Imperial Academy to get Imperial Officials, because that's what makes China OP on the water. Right? Or not OP, but it makes it like one of the best civs on the water. Because you get IOs that boost your economy 20%, and you get gold, right? But because you never play against Rus, like in any practice game, you never ever play against Rus. So it didn't even like occur to me to, maybe I should have made Beastyqt on the gold, and then I have less economy, but then I can just make an IO from TC, which would kill one of my workers, but I guess overall I would have less idle time. But again, like I said, this is something that comes from practicing these specific matchups, but to bring it all back, I fucked up in the draft and I should have never allowed Rus to be picked there in the first place. Like I should have banned it, so that was 100% my mistake. So these games we played, these are the last 5 maps remaining, and after 4 maps you draft again, you do another best of 5 draft. So I drafted these civs, and I was pretty happy with the draft in the second round. I think in the first round I drafted worse, but in the second round I like my draft better. So with all these civs, basically what I was thinking is, I have Ayubid, Japanese, OTD, and French I can play on water, and a lot of these maps were water maps, except coastal. So I wanted to play Malians on coastal, and play like OTD on Archipelago, play Ayubid on moving out, and do Japanese on Kawasa. Like, I had a good set of civs, and I was very satisfied with it, but there was a problem. What do I play on 4 lakes? So there was an option to either pick Japanese on 4 lakes, and then play Delhi on Kawasan, or to pick Delhi on 4 lakes, and play Japanese on Kawasan, which would be a stronger pick, but Delhi is obviously a weaker pick either way. So I decided to go with Delhi. And then after that, it's like the weakest part of the draft. And then after that, I would have like a really strong draft going forward for the rest of the maps. So, I played some Delhi, not in practice, but I have played Delhi before on 4 lakes. It's basically you have like a slower start, and when you age up to castle, it's kind of good and bad because you cannot upgrade your veterancy units because it takes a little bit, but your upgrades are free. And the opponent can't dock you on 4 lakes, because if you have fishing ships that shoot. So what I thought about doing is get 1 pond, not let it get docked, and then just go for fast castle, and like if he's attacking me, spam man-at-arms or something and try to win that way. So again, my dock's up, everything is fine. And he actually went for a 1-1-1. So I wasn't, I didn't think he would not attack at all. I thought he was probably going to make stables and maybe an archer range, but he actually fully committed with barracks, archer range, and stables. And I think he made multiple. So he went full on aggression. Which I think, I don't know where my scout is. So I think, yeah, I'm scouting out, and I actually see this, but I thought I can just hold it. Like, I had a tower, and I was like, I'm almost at the age up, so I'll just age up, fuck it. So I thought I would be fine, but he fully committed into feudal. I'm aging up already, and I got men-at-arms soon, so I thought I was more than fine here in this position. Like, I was like, I'm holding this. This shouldn't be a problem. So I start producing men-at-arms. I got 2 scholars. I'm pumping them out, and he destroys like an archer range and a monastery or mosque. So it's not like a big deal. And I managed to push him back, and I thought, oh, this is looking fine, kind of thing. But one thing that did happen is he's also making fishing ships here, and I did not take my second lake because I was so focused to basically not die. So there's a lot of camel archers now. And I can't really push against that, which is, whenever people ask me, why do you make knights instead of men-at-arms in whatever civ you're playing, this is why. Because if you have knights, you can just, even if you have spearmen, you can just go around and kill his villagers. But if you're going men-at-arms, you can just get kited with whatever units the opponent has. So I end up losing quite a bit of men-at-arms there, not doing much, trying to pick up relics, not really working, and because now he is, look at the economy difference. He's killed 0 units, 0 villagers so far, well now 2. He's ahead like 16 villagers at the moment, or 14 without the 2 losses. So, and that's because he had fishing ships producing and mine are only starting here. So I was kind of very committed to men-at-arms, pushing out and trying to get advantage that way. But like I said, it didn't really pan out. So now, even though the military count is kind of equal, it's, you know, not really, right? Because it's also talking about the quality of units. Like I have men-at-arms, he has knights. Which knights are always going to be more valuable, and now he's just fully printing units. My men-at-arms can get kited, and basically my men-at-arms are not really countering anything. Crossbows, camel archers, and knights or lancers can both deal with him pretty well. And you can see now the difference in economy is like finally kicking in, because I was able to remake units and he was able to pump out way more units. So yeah. So spoilers, if you don't know the results by now, I ended up losing the series 5-1, and the last map was Archipelago. So I thought this was probably gonna be out of the last maps remaining, because I thought I had better civs. I thought this was gonna be the hardest map to win, and I thought he might use HRE on Kawasan. So I wasn't sure what he's gonna use here, and when I picked it, I was like, oh shit, he's using HRE here. Because the remaining civilizations for other maps, I think picks-wise are weaker than what I had. But I was like, okay, OTD versus HRE. The way it basically works is he will have better eco early on, like while we're in the chapel radius, both him and I. But once the chapel radius is gone, then I will have a lot better eco as OTD, because your villagers gather more even without the chapel influence. So I was just kind of like trying to, you know, potentially extend the game for that to happen. It's a thick woodline, look at that. Thick woodline, boy. It's like one massive woodline. So, the game starts. It's Archipelago, nothing unusual. And we just boom up. On both sides, get some fishing ships out. We spawned very close. You're supposed to spawn on like the other side, but we spawned really close to one another. How many fishing ships am I on? 9. He's on 11 already. Okay. And yeah, now the micro battles are just starting between the classic ship stuff. I think I was still like sneaking in. So basically I had 9 fishing ships, he had 11, because he aged up a bit later. And then because I snuck in 2 more fishing ships, he has now 2 demos. So we both lose galley. I lose a sprinkle ship, he loses I think 2 demos. So kind of even-ish trade, but there was some idle time on my fishing ships because I had to move them. Meanwhile, his economy is untouched. And boom, boom, boom. I only have 1 galley. He has 2 already. I have 2 now, but again, I'm using fishing ships to repair. And because of the close spawn, it's very easy to reinforce. So now it becomes a lot harder to like recover. If the distance was longer, you have like a bit more time to, you know, repair up maybe or something like that. We traded there. I think I killed 1 or 2 galleys. He killed 1 of my galleys. And like I said, I'm trying to hold to not die. He's got 23 on wood. I have 18. Now, one important thing is I'll talk when this game ends. Something that I noticed in a little bit. Also, because he's being aggressive, I don't really have a lot of kiting space. So when I push him, he can kite all the way back. So he has a lot of kiting space to not get hit by demos. But because I'm here, I can only go back into my docks. But if I go into my docks, my fishing ships are exposed. So, yeah. So we do some trading here. Nothing big, but overall you can see he traded better. He killed 2k, I killed 1450. He's had, and because of that, he's had higher army value in that as well, right? 600, you can see he has like 500, 600 army value as well. So here I'm kind of trying to do a counter push because I know I'm behind. I try to get a lot of demos in to get some hits. He also had a shit ton of demos, and I just kind of Protego with micro. I don't know why the army thing is so bugged. I do not have 47. I can 4 or 5 ships are not 47. It's like deducting now or something. Look at that. That's weird. You see that? It's like slowly deducting. And I'm trying to, because I don't have any ships, I'm trying to get some demo ships hits, because the only way to come back from a situation like this is to get some good demo ships. Otherwise, you just have, you know, way less army you can't really contest. I'm trying to remake, I try to run some demos around, potentially get like, you know, if one of the fishing ponds had like, oh wow, he had the sick trade there. Potentially, if there's like 10 fishing ships and I land 2 demos, I can maybe like, you know, push his economy down to shit and then maybe stop his ship production and then come back that way, but that did not happen. And, is that a misclick? I thought he was trading here. So in the end, you can see I have no ships remaining. And I try to get some demo hits, but he had so many archer ships. He had 4. You obviously have seen my game against Lucifron where there's like an onslaught of demos coming from docks, so he was able to just make some archer ships and counter that. And yeah. So that being said, I managed to get a 2nd place. Overall, about the tournament, like I'll give my opinion on the finals, on the semifinals, on the tournament, on everything that's been happening. So these are the final results right here. Vortex managed to beat Lucifron 3-0 in the 3rd place match as well. So again, top 4 is kind of the same from what we've been seeing for a while. I think in the finals, I think the first 2 games were, you know, I don't like to play the games like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like if I picked Mongol in the first game, and then I picked pick English and Socotra, maybe the results would be different. But obviously, you know, you don't get second chances in tournaments, right? This was definitely a mistake leaving Rus open. I definitely felt that MarineLorD had way better micro on water than the other players, and his style on water is also different. So the very popular style right now is, I kind of absorbed it from Vortex and Lucifron, which is you open up with like Springles, you get 1 or 2 archer ships, and then you just mass demo, and you try to get mass like demo hits on stuff. And that I think works on most players. But what MarineLorD was doing is he actually, in that game against me, he made demos at the end, but he actually makes a very few demos, right? What he does is he focuses on making a shit ton of Springle ships and just not getting hit. So basically what he does is he goes in front of your base and then he doesn't move. And then because you have demos, you have to engage. You engage, he kites back because he has more space, and he just picks up demos, goes back, gets more units, and pushes again. And not only he killed your demos, but now you have less archer ships and less Springle ships. So now if you go into Springle ships or archer ships, it's not going to work because he already has more. So the only thing you can do is commit to more demos. So it's kind of like once you lose, it's very snowbally, right? But if you micro really well like he did, you don't get hit by demos, and then the comeback isn't possible. So I thought that his playstyle on water is a lot better than what other people are doing. You know what I mean? And I think that Vortex and Lucifron have like a very tempo-based style where if they get a demo ship, it's like you're fucked on the next push. Like you're straight up out. You know what I mean? But MarineLorD's playstyle is kind of like he's waiting for you to do mistakes and he's just microing against your demos and then getting advantage that way. And another thing I noticed from his playstyle, and I think this is the series that I got the most understanding about his playstyle. And MarineLorD in the past used to be very aggressive, then he used to be very defensive. Now what he does in most of these games, I think he watches a lot of what the other players are doing, and he doesn't try to, when I say blind counter, I don't mean get like a build order win. What he does is he just makes counters of what you're doing, and he's never aggressive. He just waits, and when you attack, he picks off your units, and most players would counterattack, but he doesn't. He waits again, and because you're behind, you send another raiding group. Because most players would attack, he waits, he kills that too, and now he's too far ahead to actually not win the fight, right? So he has a very like defensive style that works on countering what you're doing. He doesn't really make the first move like ever. In all these games that you watched, like he didn't really make the first move, right? In the Byzantine game, I did it. In the Malian game, I did it. In the Ottoman game, I did it. In the Rus game, I mean, again, we're not going to talk about Rus. Four Lakes, he was aggressive. And then Archipelago, it's the water, so it's a different thing. But I noticed this in his games against Vortex. And I think when I look at like the players that take games away from him, when I talked to him once and when I saw his games against Demu, the reason I think Demu playstyle does well is because Demu isn't also the player who makes the first move, right? So what happens is if Demu plays against MarineLorD, they're both very passive in terms of they have very similar styles now, where they're both waiting for the opponent to do something and then counter it. And I think that if you're an aggressive player and you're playing, you know, against him on whatever map, he will probably just manage to kind of wait it out, and then he does one push and wins. Which I think my style is somewhat similar to that, but I like to put on the aggression, get some pressure on the opponent, and let them counterattack and make a mistake, right? So I have a style where I put pressure, let the opponent counterattack, make a mistake, and then I end the game. But I think he has a very like safe play style from the get-go. Like even when he harasses, for example, I noticed if he harasses with knights or horsemen, sometimes I'll go in and I'll be like, okay, if I lose a knight but I kill 2 villagers, fine. But he only takes like very safe trades. And I think most players, you know, tend to, in AoE4 at least, are aggressive or like to make moves. And I think he's just capitalizing on kind of just having map awareness where opponent can attack you and extending his lead that way, which I think is a good way to play. I definitely wonder how that style will be like countered or played against or whatever, because potentially versus a style like that, you could do stuff like feign aggression but go greedier. Go like, when he goes 2TC, you go like 2TC aggression but you greed fast castle, so you get like a advantage that way. Or in simple terms, he goes 2TC, you feign aggression, you go 3TC, right? But yeah, another thing is when you play different types of styles, like every style has a counter, but the best way to play usually is to not play with any tricks. So if your style is like, I'm gonna make 5 knights and I hope to kill 3 villagers, you're not gonna get very far in tournaments, because that is gonna work once or twice, but it's not gonna work when, you know, player number 3 and 4 see that you're doing that. So I think in order to do well in AoE4 to win tournaments, you need to be very solid and to not be caught off guard by things, and to have understanding of like matchups, or even the matchups that are bad for you. Maybe try to just blind counter or counter whatever is happening and try to kind of get to the game in a weird spot. So I think overall, that's kind of regarding the drafts, the playstyle. Overall, I think he played better. I think my strength is macro, late game, and decision making as a player. I'm not saying like stronger than him, but I'm saying as a player, that's my decision making, and I think that kind of showed in the Hill and Dale game. The other games, you know, obviously didn't even get to that point because the disadvantage came earlier. But I think his advantage is not really making like mistakes. I think that's his style, where it's like he doesn't take massive losses. He actually doesn't take bad trades, which I know this is kind of obvious, like nobody wants to take bad trades, but he doesn't really go for potentially bad trades. He always goes for like safer engagements. And I think MarineLorD has, with the Vortex brothers, I talked about this yesterday, someone asked me who are the best micro players. I think Vortex, MarineLorD, and Lucifron, all 3 have better micro than me. And I think all 3 of them, like that's their strength, right? I think Vortex and Lucifron have like aggressive micro, where it's like they are the ones engaging, and MarineLorD has like more kind of all around, but more like defensive micro kind of thing, where it's like it's hard to engage into his army. And yeah, regarding the tournament itself, when it started, it's been going on for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and like a week before that games. I mean, I've said this before. Since beginning of this year, I'm going or I am YouTube and content creator first. So I am not investing any time off of stream. Like every practice I do is on stream, because you know, IRL, I'm old. I don't really also want to commit that much time to practicing like 9-10 hours a day. It's a little bit too much. And I also have 3 YouTube channels now that I need to maintain. I thought I might not make it out of round of 8. And the reason I think I made it around a round of 8 is because I played against Demu, who also does not practice a lot of custom games. So I think that we both didn't have like as much experience on the new maps. So that matchup was good for me. And then I was a bit surprised to win against Lucifron, because Lucifer and Vortex I know practiced a shit ton in custom games, and also obviously they're known for their water micro. So I thought I might fall short in round of 8 and then potential round of 4. So getting to the finals was, for me at least, it was a success. I think I got 4,500 for that. Now regarding the maps and everything, I mean, I don't think I'm very good on water, although this tournament I do think I improved quite a bit on water. I think I learned quite a bit about water maps, quite a bit about hybrid maps. But that is, I think, definitely not my strong suit. Like, if I would have to pick like maps that are good for me, I'd probably be like open maps. You know, Dry Arabia, Lipany, I'm way more comfortable with those. Overall, I'm happy with second place. Like I said, I think MarineLorD definitely deserved it. I think he prepared really well, and yeah, he just played better. That being said, I'm very glad that I'm back streaming, like streaming for content and making videos like this or making guides, because streaming 3-4 weeks of like practice and trying to find custom games is very draining. Like every day I have to, like, you know, get up and I'm like, hey, do you want to play today? No, I can't. Hey, do you want to play today? No, I can't. Hey, do you want to play today? No, I can't. And then I'm like waiting for someone to finish, because all these maps are maps that are pretty much all of them are not on the ladder. So you have to play custom games, and that's something that is like strictly preparation for tournament and is not good content. Like some people say like, I like to watch you practice, but that only works for like a day or two. Nobody wants to watch you like grind games for a month, because it kind of gets tedious and, you know, it gets boring. And last thing that I wanted to mention is there was this post, and I want to kind of go through this. So apparently, obviously I wasn't watching the stream because I was playing the game. There was a lot of toxic people and just idiots, I don't know what to call them, in EGCTV chat that were either being obnoxious for me or against me. And if you're being obnoxious in my name, please don't. Be respectful to the opponents. Be respectful to MarineLorD. Like, we're a small scene, and seeing this kind of toxicity and just people acting like 12-year-olds is just weird. I do want to say, a lot of people, or some people, I don't know how many, did get banned in my stream during that. I did not ban you, so do not send me death threats like you usually do, and threatening you will do something to my wife and stuff like that. Please don't send me messages like that, lunatics. I did not ban you. It does not matter who banned you. Don't send hateful messages to anyone, okay? If you got banned, you deserved it because you're an asshole. Never do that. And I do want to say, we have also banned people who were doing that to MarineLorD. The people who were insulting MarineLorD will or already did get banned in my stream, because I don't want you in my community if you're a person like that. Please don't do that. So, you know, someone made a Reddit thread, Vagmar made a Reddit thread. Today we're privileged to watch another amazing series. MarineLorD won 5-1, we draft him, yada, 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 yada. However, as a neutral fan of the game that just wanted to join the series, I can actually not notice and point out toxicity in this community not only doesn't gradually end, but it actually gains ground. There was always some animosity between parts of the fan base referring to who the GOAT is, similar to the The big difference is the AOE4 community is much smaller. Every content creator, player, caster, tournament organizer have a crucial role in keeping the esports scene alive. In that regard, seeing many people attacking players with personal insults, causing chaos in the chat every 2 minutes, and fighting with each other, illogical and atrocious argument is not only annoying to the rest of the community, but also presents to poorly whoever tunes in for the first time. I agree. In just a couple of hours, I watched a series. I had to see MarineLorD lunatic ultras / Beasty haters yap about how Beasty sucks, how he's toxic and egocentric individual, and how the only thing he knows is to cry about losing, while some people went as far as say that he's just bad for the community. On the other hand, there are Beasty lunatics ultras / MarineLorD haters daring to say that MarineLorD is a cheater and used cheater to win the finals, while also swearing at him similar insults to the Beasty haters. Every time I'd say something like sub trash talking these two amazing, they are two amazing players having a great series, just enjoy the games, I'd just get jumped on from both sides depending on who I replied to with "you are X's cry baby." Some random madman called me out and asked me to acknowledge how MarineLorD is miles ahead of Beasty and not even close to him, when I said that I believe these two are the best AoE 4 players currently. TLDR, both sides are the same crazy, toxic, no lifers use other people so they're favored to get a point in their lives. They just choose different sides. To all my dear Beasty and MarineLorD Ultra out there, you can support whoever you want and actually dislike whoever you want. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to realize attacking some random dude who does a person law, yada 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 yada. We don't care about your opinions. We don't care if you got perma-banned in Beast stream or if you don't like MarineLorD space. So yeah, in my opinion, this is something that tournaments should also either time out for like a full week or bans, but obviously I'm not gonna mod their channel. They can do whatever they want. Again, I haven't watched the series on Twitch because I was playing, but please, if you are a fan of me, fan of my stream, a viewer, do not do this in my name. I don't need you to shit talk other players. Just don't, okay? To just give you an example, by the way, I saw this earlier today. So this guy got banned. This was one of the messages, and the message is, I hope Beasty loses Prage. This is one of the messages. And then he responds, he got banned during the EGCTV thing, and he says, why am I banned? Is it because I said Beasty letting himself getting humiliated because his ego cannot let him surrender? Kick W. Or I am banned because instead of supporting you, I supported your opponent. I mean, if this is supporting my opponent and saying stuff like, I hope Beasty loses and Beasty is this and Beasty is that, you need some medical help. If I am banned for this reason, I hope your conscience is clear. Thank you very much. My conscience is very clear and I sleep very good at night. You're denied and you're never going to get unbanned. That being said, I already had to ban a few people today in the chat. You know, I've said multiple times, MarineLorD played better, he deserved to win, but for some reason, these people, that their family tree is one big circle, you know, they come to my chat and they're like, yo, you got fucked, you're never gonna win. I don't understand it. If you are that sad and that pathetic, I would advise you to just seek help. Try to get a professional to help you, because I can't help you, and you hating on me or MarineLorD is not going to help you either. You're still going to be the same person. Someone linked me this on Discord. I'll show you another example. This guy who looks like he's about to cast a spell on me or something. Do you do coaching? If so, I want some coaching. Thank you for all your true lessons. And this is his other comment. Looking forward to seeing Beasty's glorious defeat by... This is on my video, by the way. Glorious defeat by MarineLorD. Dude got blasted hard. Next time, drop the ego and actually be humble, or else the GOAT will have to school you again. Like, these are the people, you know, like, they're begging me to coach them, and then they do this. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. He's probably mad he didn't coach for free. True. Oh yeah, people ask me like how am I handling the defeat and how am I feeling about the loss and am I gonna get him next time? And I want to re-emphasize again, I said this when I was number one towards the last year, when I won the last S tier tournament of the last year. I am full content creator now, full time. I am full-time YouTuber, Twitch streamer. I will keep competing, but I will not sacrifice stream time or YouTube uploads time in order to practice. That is not happening. And because my priorities have shifted, the losses are actually a lot easier to handle because, you know, again, someone asked me yesterday, like, oh, if you practice sport, do you think you would have won? I think that's disrespectful to the winner, like saying like, oh yeah, if I practice, I would have won that, because then that kind of negates his victory or like the hard work he put in. So I don't want to do that. I have my priorities. Other people have their priorities. I'm very happy that I got second place. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to get top 8 or go past top 8. So am I going to win a tournament, the next tournament or the one after? Maybe. But I think the odds of me winning are a lot less than me getting second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth place. So last time he said this, he won. Yeah, but like I said, it's possible, but more unlikely than it is. Yeah. Either way, congrats to the chimp. Like I said, he deserved it. I think players are a bit fed up with the water maps, and I think the viewers too. So again, this weekend coming up, we have Top Team Gamer, where I will be playing. I will be streaming it as well. And basically, top 16 players in the world will be playing a 2v2 tournament on SteelSeries channel covered by Wayman, where each player will get a new ally for every game. So it's not you sign up with a team, it's everyone's playing with different teammates to figure out who the top team gamer is. And starting July 26th, we are also going to have King of Dry Arabia tournament that I, Cutie Patootie, am personally sponsoring. I'm putting up $1,500 prize pool, not dollars prize pool, that will be going for the tournament. And one more announcement, which I announced already, but some of you may not heard it on Twitch or YouTube. Marika and I will also be starting a new Twitch channel. So basically, it's not my Twitch channel, it's her thing. I'm just helping her. But Marika is starting a new Twitch channel that will be specifically for tournaments in Age of Empires only. So you will be seeing a lot more tournaments from her, from us, going forward. And in just a day or two, we will be revealing what the new channel is and where you can follow King of Dry Arabia and the future Beast of the Hills and everything else. So when I said I have two Twitch channels, I didn't even consider that one. So I have like a 2.1 Twitch channel, because 0.9 part it's mostly hers. I'm just helping out. So anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Remember, don't be obnoxious little shit. And if you are, you will get permanently banned, and you're never getting unbanned.
3 fucking scuts, and I get 80 booty, 80.